9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Monday, everybody. This is your PR princess, your timeless elite, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me, on this Monday edition of WWT Live. Obviously, of course, if you've been living in the East Coast, we got hit with a snowstorm. So I hope everybody is staying safe and warm and really away from ice. But also, we're supposed to be getting a snowstorm this weekend. But that's a whole conversation for another day. We have a lot happening. Feel free, the super chats are open, so feel free to give us any amount and tell us where you're from and everything else. And it is Royal Rumble week, but thankfully, I'm not alone in this. I'm so happy that he's here. Obviously, of course, if you need any info regarding New Japan, but most specifically TNA, because I think I need to start calling him Mr. TNA all of a sudden, because he's just been getting hit after hit when it comes to TNA stuff. So I am talking to Mr. K McCoy in the building.
Did you hear that? Personal concierge. We should take off that Mr. Elegance 2025 runner-up, and I'll be Mr. Elegance 2025 / Mr. TNA / Mr. Everything. Enjoyer of weather, especially Courtney Wright. Who are you doing? Adios mio, say frio. See, mamacita? Ooh.
Yeah. See,
a lot of snow over there. But you know, I live in Los Angeles, so technically speaking, any day that ends in Y, it's always a blizzard here.
Technically, but
if you've been to the party scenes here in LA, it's always snowing.
Yeah, I've been to LA a few times, but I don't know. I may go back to LA soon. But shout out to everybody in the chat, to Boza, Jonathan Lamby, our producer from the future, Dylan, because his New England Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. So confetti. Yay. So
congratulations. The evil empire has returned. They're back.
I'm laughing at Dylan in the chat and Boza, but you guys are doing so well on a Monday. But we do want to kick off because we did have some heartbreaking news from our very own Mr. Mick Foley himself, because he's always the guy that always supports of everything. Earlier today on his Instagram, he recently reported that his mother passed away from dementia, and it's been very hard for him because we always refer to him as Mrs. Foley's baby boy, but he shared a lot of good memories of his mother, and we here at Women's Wrestling Talk want to send condolences to Mick, Noelle, and the entire family in this tough loss.
Sons live to make their mothers proud, and Mrs. Foley's baby boy, Mick Foley, did just that and more. I want to thank Mrs. Foley for putting out such a great man and wrestler into this world. Mick Foley is probably the most ethical wrestler in professional wrestling, and that goes back to his roots, how he was raised in Western New York. So kudos to a life well lived, and thank you, Mrs. Foley, and our condolences to the Foley family.
Yes, Mrs. Foley's baby boy. That's what Mick, and he always talked about his mother so much, because we talked about this many times when Trish lost her mom last year, right before the holidays. And it's very hard when we lose not just a parent, but a loved one, especially if they made an impact on our lives. And I know Mick has told time and time again on his stories regarding his mother. But that's what we wanted to do, send condolences. And we had a lot of birthdays that happened over the weekend in the world of wrestling. We had our friend of the show, Layla Gray, Michelle McCool, Zoe Starks had her birthday, and Willow Nightingale had her birthday over the weekend. So many birthdays are happening. But today, of course, we have to wish a happy birthday. You like her, you hate her, but at the end of the day, you got to respect what she does. I'm talking about Miss CEO Mercedes Moné. She is turning 34 years old, and we here at Women's Wrestling Talk wanted to wish her a happy and healthy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mercedes Moné. Happy birthday to Willow Nightingale, pillars of the AEW women's division. It should be a national holiday. Why are we at work today? Did we not get the email? Is everyone else off today? Did they know it was the birthday and he took off? It should be a federal holiday. Why are we here? But happy birthday, ladies.
You would think it would be a national holiday, but we're here to talk about wrestling. So,
Yeah, well, like the number one Mercedes Moné maneuver mover out here said is not even here. He must be celebrating or buying a cake. By the way, keep all cake away from Mercedes Moné for her birthday because she keeps like falling into it. So I'll wait for this to happen on her actual cake day. Just like give her a picture of a cake. Just don't have her eating cake.
Yes, that part right there. Just make sure to avoid anything that has cake in it because we've seen her, fall out of cake twice. So just make sure cake and puppets.
Yes, cakes and puppets. Stay away from all of those things. Not a good gift. What do you get Mercedes Moné? She has like everything. I mean, she's kind of losing titles lately, but she still has other titles. Like, what does like you give the CEO? What type of gift do you give Mercedes Moné?
Diamonds are a girl's best friend. That's pretty much the same. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. And with the fact, too, she does have a man on board, the Beast Mortal, because she did support him when he finally finished law school. So he'll be a lawyer. So, of course, we do want to do that. Like, she has a man, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. Like, they'll go crazy for diamonds.
Yeah, like don't like okay, we do diamonds and you get Mercedes Moné like a Lexus. That's a Mercedes Lexus. What's the next story? Forgot you have access to the button.
I kind of had to go there. But anyways, here at Women's Wrestling Talk, we do want to wish Mercedes Moné a happy birthday and soon to be AEW Women's World Champion later in the year. But we got to talk about Saturday night's main event that happened over the weekend. Obviously, of course, from Montreal, even though it was cold outside, it was hot inside. I mean, obviously, of course, we kicked off with Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Technically, it really wasn't a match. It was pretty much just a brawl with each other. And we did see Drew McIntyre come in trying to take out two of his top opponents for the WWE Undisputed title. So there is a lot more storytelling with that. We also got to see a really good banger of a match with the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking on the Judgment Days, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Banger of a match between these two ladies. Obviously, of course, we saw Raquel Rodriguez come in, but not so fast. We got to see the return of La Primera, Stephanie Vaquer, taking the beating. Well, pretty much beating up Raquel Rodriguez. So those two ladies, they've been going at it for a while. Stephanie's Women's World Championship match, but Rhea Ripley and Io Sky retained successfully. And this was a banger of a match. Two familiar foes that are so familiar with each other. Right before his match against Gunther at the Royal Rumble, we got to see AJ Styles take on Shinsuke Nakamura in a banger of a match between these two. Winner of the match was AJ Styles, but obviously, of course, they did show respect to one another. If you watch their match in New Japan, you know the reference there. And of course, I mean, we had a fatal four-way match, and who better to be number one contender than Mr. Sami Zayn himself? Obviously, we did see Drew McIntyre try to spoil Mr. Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn, he's the number one contender. He will be facing Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble this weekend. And Kane, I just wanted to get your takeaways from Saturday night's main event. What was your favorite match? What do you like about it? And I mean, is this going to continue a hot start? Because we have Rumble this weekend.
Yeah, overall, it was a great setup for what's going to happen next week at the Royal Rumble as we begin the official road to WrestleMania. We spoke about the lack of matches. There were only 3 matches advertised as opposed to the additional 4 we usually have. But then we kind of spoke about, well, something might happen Friday night on SmackDown to give us 4 matches. And we saw that with AJ Styles being brought to SmackDown by SmackDown GM Nick Aldis. AJ's like, yo, what you, I'm busy with Gunther. And then here comes his fellow Bullet Club member or fellow New Japan wrestler, rival, Shinsuke Nakamura, saying, AJ, one last time. You say you out of here, we out of here. So we got that match. I jumped. When I saw it on SmackDown, I said I jumped and all my soup spilled on me. It wasn't too sweet. It was too hot. And they had that happen. And I was very excited to see that match. But the one that I was kind of like, oh, this is new, was Cody and Jacob. We thought that Jacob will go over and Cody will descend into madness. One of those two things happened. Cody went a little cray-cray on us, but the match doesn't exist. It's not even listed as a no contest. Nothing ever happened. The bell never rung. I thought that was an interesting twist to protect both wrestlers, and it seems like Jacob Fatu is here in the main event picture to stay. We still don't know if Jacob Fatu knows that it's Drew McIntyre who hit him. We don't know if it's Cody Rhodes, but Cody Rhodes is very upset at Jacob Fatu, and he sees him in his dreams and nightmares. So I think this is going to end up at the Royal Rumble, maybe a triple threat. I'm sorry, post Royal Rumble, a triple threat between Drew and Cody and Jacob going into the chamber. Maybe I think that with Sami Zayn winning, Sami loses against Drew, but Sami still wins the Royal Rumble. He was all too early Royal Rumble pick. He's going to remain our Royal Rumble pick. I think the hometown boy, Sami Zayn, he got 2 homes, one in Montreal and one in Saudi Arabia. So we see him become the more contender in Montreal. We're going to see him, even though lose, he's going to still come out a winner and win the men's Royal Rumble. And as far as the women's match, great tag match. They furthered the women's division even more with Io and Rhea retaining. And we also get a little more clarity as to what's happening with the Women's World Championship as well between Stephanie and Big Sassy Raquel Rodriguez.
Pretty much. I will say, I think people don't realize there's a lot more story between Cody and Jacob Fatu, because if you saw the promo from SmackDown last week, it got very intense. And also there's so much background that people won't even know that there is so much, because if you go way back, even right before they were signed with WWE, there's a lot more deeper story than people realize. I'm happy the Brawl, it saved both of them, because I just can't imagine one losing, because that would be disaster. So that's where you put in Drew in, because since Drew didn't have a match, he's like, oh, well, since I don't have a match, I'm just going to crash the Brawl anyway, so nobody can face me for my title. And obviously, of course, seeing Mr. Sami Zayn win it was just a really feeling being with his wife and his son. And also we did find out from Michael Cole that his best friend Kevin Owens was watching the match at home. So obviously, of course, seeing Mr. Kevin Owens in support of his best friend, that's happy to hear. The women's tag team title, I think we do have some clarity on it. I know our councilman Will was not happy that his client Roxanne Perez did not get the win, but Roxy's going to be fine. But also a lot of clarity because, of course, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky will be facing off against Julia and Kiana James. And I think this is the first time that we're going to see Julia and Io Sky face to face. So that would be very interesting to watch and really paying attention to that. But congratulations to them. Also, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles. I mean, need I say more? That was just a banger of a match. Really helps him build up against Gunther. So everything happens. But since we are talking about AJ Styles, we have to talk about Monday Night Raw. Since Monday Night Raw is going to be in Toronto, it's the final Monday Night Raw right before the Rumble. Of course, courtesy of Adam Pearce, because he posted on this yesterday, we're going to hear from the phenomenal AJ Styles right before his big match against Gunther. And speaking of Gunther, We're also going to have a sit-down interview with him because he will be talking about his match against AJ Styles, and confidently will he be the person to end the Phenomenal One's career. We find out on that. We're also going to have, after the shocking betrayal that happened last week during the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, we're going to hear from Miss Natty Neihard and what she's going to have to say, because I know the team at Busted Open tried to get something out of her, but she's going to say it live tonight in Toronto, Canada. And we obviously know from last week, Adam Pearce is going to have a confrontation with Braun Breaker. It's going to be a very interesting one. I don't know what's going to happen between these two, but I could tell it's not going to end very pretty. And obviously, of course, we have a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team titles. We have American Alpha taking on American Made, taking on the New Day, taking on Los Americanos. All this happening at the top of the hour on Raw tonight at 8 p.m. on Netflix. And Kane, is there a match that you are very interested to see, or a segment that you're looking forward tonight on Raw?
Yeah, two things. Very excited to see what goes down with AJ Styles. And this is a very strong possibility that this is AJ Styles' last WWE Monday Night Raw. To go back to Shinsuke and AJ, Shinsuke Nakamura had a very, very interesting Instagram story post that has since been deleted. But of course, this is the internet and nothing is deleted forever. Everything stays forever, in which Shinsuke was speaking about a poem in which he straight up asked AJ Styles if this was it. And then AJ answered, "The Royal Rumble. I've already decided." And then Shinsuke had shift one, shift one, shift one. That's exclamation points for our keyboard impaired folks. But I think that Shinsuke might have gave a little too much out. You know, maybe he was busy surfing and tweeting his thoughts and maybe did a little too much, or we could be getting worked. I'm not sure. But it makes perfect sense for AJ Styles to leave at the Royal Rumble. That's where he debuted. Hell, it makes even more perfect sense for AJ Styles to retire at the Royal Rumble, and for some odd reason, they cut to like 4 or 5 seconds of Roman Reigns' face to really give the foreclosure to AJ Styles' debut. For those who remember, at the Royal Rumble, they showed Roman Reigns' face for like the first 5 seconds of AJ's debut. But yeah, like this could really be it. As abrupt as it seems, you know, you got to remember that if you think an AJ Styles is going to get a retirement tour similar to John Cena, AJ Styles isn't a lifelong WWE guy. He's been at WWE for 10 years, as crazy as it may seem, but he's, you know, you think of AJ Styles, you think of TNA immediately. So we've already seen him on TNA programming now twice. We saw him on the AMC opener. Could AJ Styles be having his last WWE match? And then he's going to finish in the place he's most renowned in, and that's TNA. There's a reason why he interacted with Cass. There's a reason why he interacted with Leon Slater. There's a reason why he interacted with Mike Santana. I think we can get a plate of hits, bruv. Best of AJ Styles' last run in TNA.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about that over the weekend because I said AJ Styles' final match, but I'm like, I don't think it's going to end that well, because go back to the place where he first started in TNA. Because I was like, WWE, yeah, but TNA, I think there's some unfinished business they have to do. And him and Frankie Kazarian have been talking about a match one-on-one. It's been talked about for so long. Obviously, of course, we've seen the interaction between him and AJ Styles, and it would be good for him to just hang the boots up in TNA. Also with the fact too, because that's where he started his career. He was one of the few TNA originals. Even when you had many ex-WWE stars, you had a few originals that turned into megastars, like him, Frankie Kazarian, you had Petey Williams, you had Scott D'Amore, Eric Young, so many others happening. But I do have a feeling he may be doing that in the TNA realm, but we'll talk about that. I'm very happy to see Natty, because I actually want to see this promo. I want to see the low-key legend come out in place, and I do think this will be a really good rivalry for Maxine to really show a lot of aggression and especially doing a lot of creative submission. I feel like for these two, they can do a lot of submission tactics with each other since they both train in the judging. It's kind of like when you think of Kurt Angle when he first started in his prime in WWE, and Mr. Crossface, because they were the technicians from way back in the early 2000s. Then it's kind of like you really have to think about that part. So that's what I'm really thinking. Or of course, Uncle Brett and Uncle Owen. So those are just a few things when it comes to technicians, but also the tag team division, because I feel like it needs a reset. And how come the War Raiders were not in it? It could have been a 5-way match. I'm just saying.
They're busy racing huskies in the snow or whatever, like War Raiders. Like they're just like racing huskies and like drinking wine and fighting bears into winter snow. That's what they do during January. Overall, I'm excited for this Raw episode. Really, to go back to your point of Natty, we're going to finally get the low-key legend Natty on WWE television. We've seen her in NWA, we've seen her on Bloodsport, we've seen her everywhere except WWE. So I like that we're about to get the low-key legend badass dungeon Natty on WWE television. And this has been building for some time. You have to remember, once Maxine Dupree upset Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, they were showing the vignettes with Natty training in the dungeon. And on that second week, you remember, the first week, Natty beat the piss out of Maxine. The second week, the student outclassed the teacher. And I always had that in the back of my mind. That always stuck back with me. First of all, I thought it was a little too soon to show Natty being defeated. But maybe that was on purpose, to show that maybe, you know, Maxine broke the first rule. The student never outshines the teacher. So Natty had to show her something. I wish it could be for the IC title, but I think that not every big feud in the women's division needs a championship. And this can be kind of one of the first feuds or few feuds in the women's division that can be a personal blood feud and not have a title involved. So that's what excites me. You think about Becky and Lyra, there's the women's title. Even with Becky, Lyra, and Bayley, title involved. It's been a while since we've seen a women's rivalry, personal blood feud that didn't need a title. It's just, no, I don't like you, you don't like me, you betrayed me, I'm gonna get my lick back. So I'm happy to see what develops here with Maxine and Natty.
It's gonna be very interesting, and plus they're gonna save Miss AJ Lee for Becky Lynch. So
yes,
that's somewhere.
AJ Lee is skipping in the shadows somewhere, just waiting.
That's somewhere down the line.
Start it up.
But that wraps up our preview for Monday Night Raw, top of the hour, regular time, 8 p.m. Eastern time at Netflix. We're not going to do 2 o'clock. We're not going to do 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So get ready for the last Monday night before the Royal Rumble. And also, we had an announcement on SmackDown last week. So if you love wrestling, and if you're a video game junkie, WWE 2K26 made the commercial last weekend. Now, of course, they have an Attitude Era edition, but also I want to put in there they had a Monday Night Wars edition. So there is a lot happening with this game. Pre-orders will start on January 30th. Everybody's been buzzing about this on socials, and they're super excited to relive back with the Attitude Era, with the Monday Night Wars everybody grew up with. So if you are a video game junkie, you better get your game now. And Ken, I just want to get your quick thoughts on this, because this has been buzzing around from over the weekend during SmackDown.
Okay, can we talk about Triple H for a second? And there's like this weird Soviet Russia revisionist elimination history going on with Triple H. Put that cover back up one more time if you can, Courtney, okay, because I really want to show you something with this Attitude Era. You see Austin, you see Rock, you see HBK, Trish, you see like Amish goatee Undertaker, because that was the Attitude Era Kane. But the Triple H character on this is not Attitude Era Triple H. He's wearing the World Heavyweight Championship. That is post Attitude Era. That's
Ruthless
WWE. Yeah, that's like Ruthless Aggression. You know, that's the reign of terror. Triple H, when Eric Bischoff rewarded him the World Heavyweight Championship. Attitude Era Triple H will be DX Triple H, Intercontinental Champion Triple H. At minimum, towards the tail end when he became WWF Champion, next to China. Instead, you got China next to Trish Stratus. What is good? What? And people always like, well, Triple H doesn't have any input. Yes, he does. He could have been like, hey, guys, that's not the Attitude Era version of me. And spit the water out. Like, just what? And then there's the King of Kings version that just dropped before we went live. And people was like, well, I know they put him front and center to make him the Dana White, but he doesn't want that. Is what that? No, he does want it. He does want it. He wants it. It's all about the game. It's in the song. It's in the lyrics. And it's just like, it's too much, man. It's too much horseradish sauce. Horseradish spelled with 3 H's, with triple H's, of course. But it's just like a little much. So when I saw the cover, that was the first jarring thing that stood out to me. So I'm interested to see what happens with the game. I mean, if you want to play a WWF Attitude Era game, just get like a emulator and play Warzone or WWF Attitude if you want, or No Mercy, which is the best wrestling game ever. So just my opinion.
I mean, it's funny you mentioned Triple H, because where did he learn that from when it came to business wise? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Who did he learn it from?
Oh, you mean like Voldemort McManus?
Yes, that part. I just want to put that in there. But I mean, it's kind of crazy when a video game comes out because we get so excited. I think the first game I bought was Just Bring It, and that was when PS2 was coming out. It was Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain. Like, those are the games. But unfortunately, I missed some of the early games that happened. But it's really interesting how it evolved so much, because I remember those series, and of course Raw versus SmackDown, like they had a 2005, 2006, they had a series of that. Day of Reckoning on GameCube, by the way.
Day of Reckoning on GameCube. Oh my god, you own a GameCube, Courtney?
I didn't own a GameCube. I remember the commercials for it.
Yeah,
I remember
there was like 30. There was only like 38 people who had a GameCube. It wasn't a lot.
Well,
GameCube sucked.
Unfortunately, my PS2 still works to this day. It still works. So I'm very happy and pleased. And my Super NES works to this day. So
Super NES. Oh, the SNES. Classic. WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. Oh, man, what a game.
It still works to this day. But, and Sidel, and going back to your point, I know TNA released a few games, but I don't know particular what consoles they have. But I think I do remember
man,
the commercial.
The TNA Impact video game was interesting. But like the entrances, and it didn't have like any theme songs, if I can remember. But some of the greatest games, like wrestling games, you got WWF No Mercy, WCW NWO Revenge, just completely changed everything. And I think WCW versus the World is the one that really was dope as well. So that's the one with Sting on the cover with Crow Sting. So yeah, man, shouts to video games. And Triple H, we got to start being honest about your history. History spelled with 3 H's, of course. But yeah, like we got to, don't do that. Don't do that. You got the World Heavyweight Championship on the Attitude Era edition. You was IC champion. That was fine. We loved you even more then. Like, it reminds us of nostalgia, of a good time. You know, DX versus the Nation. Of course, I rooted for the Nation. But, you know, him and China being over. And, yeah, it was great. It was great. Nothing wrong with that. Rip your set, homie.
IC champion and also WWF champion.
Yeah. Like, it was a big time, you know? Come on, man.
It was a big year, but always love it to see video games come alive and well. And we just love to see that. And speaking, because we did mention a little bit about TNA, a lady who's no stranger to TNA, Madison Rain. If you notice, a couple weeks ago, she teamed up with Deonna Purrazzo on a tag team of Ring of Honor, and she announced that she would be retiring. So she obviously made her debut in 2005 as Lexi Lane and made a career where she competed not just in TNA but in WWE, AEW, and Ring of Honor. And she actually spoke more about this on Deonna Purrazzo and Steve Macklin's Boots to Boots podcast today. And she goes into saying, I quote, "It's really been hard over the last few years to balance agenting, producing, and coaching with wrestling. In my opinion, you have to love them both and give it 100% of yourself to both of them. Giving 100% of myself to two separate things in one day was challenging. I've also had it in the back of my mind, this little voice telling me, get out, retire, and know when enough is enough. People do it all the time. They outstay their welcome in the wrestling business. I didn't want to be somebody who did that. I think I did a good job over 20 years moving with the ebbs and flows and the different dynamics with wrestling. It was super storytelling focused when I first broke into television wrestling. Then a few years in, it was wrestling is the most important part, and that forced me out of my comfort zone and forced me to get better and reinvent myself. I did that so many times that at this point, when my full-time job is coach/producer, and I love it so much, it was like these two things telling me that it was time to celebrate my career instead of prolonging it past necessary. I've done everything that for me I needed to do to fill my cup and feel fulfilled. I semi-retired a few years ago because I thought it was the right thing during COVID. I got my business degree and a job selling mortgages. This is my career path in life. Let me force myself to step away from wrestling. It didn't feel right and wasn't the right time. Now, having done that, I'm glad that I did that. As much as the internet wants to tell me I've retired 45 times, it's only been twice. I'm glad I did it the first time to know the difference and the way it feels different. Before, it felt like there was more that I hadn't done. Now I feel so accomplished and ready to continue to move on within the wrestling industry, just in a different space. I really feel fortunate to be able to do that.
I mean, listen, every wrestler, professional, anybody wants to close their chapter on their terms. And Madison Rain gets to do this. Happy for her. It was random. I saw it yesterday on ROH. I was like, wait, what? Okay, word up. I ain't mad at it. But just, I remember her debut with the Beautiful People and with, what was it? What they did this sorority when she was like recruiting My Pie Sexy. And with, you know, her turning on Taylor Wilde to join the Beautiful People with Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. And I mean, it was just, if you have a chance to go back and watch the work of Madison Rain during those TNA days, please do so and have an appreciation for some of the groundwork that they laid down. The Elegance brand reminds me so much of the Beautiful People when I see them. So I just really want to give shouts to Madison Rain and congrats on a career and for ending it the way that you wanted to end it, Madison. And also shouts to Ashley Rain too, because remember she was in the Mae Young Classic, like randomly. I was like, is that Madison? Who the hell is Ashley Rain? But no, I love that she's one of the few women who have been in all of the companies, right? TNA, WWE, AEW, ROH. So well-traveled, well-earned retirement. And she continues to give back to the business by being a producer and a coach in AEW.
She is, and do want to take a moment for Madison Rain because I first watched her on TNA when she was with the Beautiful People. That was when she made her first debut, and it just kind of blew up from there. But definitely check out her matches, as Kate said, in TNA. You will not be disappointed. Her, Taylor Wilde, along with the rest of the knockouts. But, you know, it's very interesting because it was very interesting on how the way it's set up, because I did watch it on socials. It was during Christmas, when they were in Hammerstein Ballroom. So it was like, wait, what? She's retiring? I did not know that, but I'm happy that she really had a great career and everything that she's done. And, you know, you kind of have to respect at the end of the day, they're still humans too, and they have the opportunity to retire. That's where some of the IWC narcs of the world don't get it on social. Like, you have to let them retire on their own terms. I mean, you can't force them to do something that they don't want to do. So I do respect Madison's decision as well, that she is retiring. And obviously, of course, she did it on her good friends Deanna Purrazzo's podcast along with her husband, Steve Macklin. Make sure to check that out because they are doing amazing work.
Madison
but also,
Rain. She's a killer queen.
Yes, she is. But do want to wish the best to Madison Rain for everything that she's done, especially in women's wrestling, because, and also with the fact too, she is a coach as well. So Madison Rain, I know you're a coach and I don't know if you have a say in it, but just give the women just give them a lot more advice when it comes to character and storylines. Like, you have a say. Let creative know what you want.
Yeah. I mean, and if anybody knows, again, it's Madison Rain. Like, you remember her gimmicks, you remember her storylines from 10, 15 years ago. So that proves that character means something. So, you know, hopefully she has a say and an ear as well for to say those things too. Looking at you, Tony.
I hope she does have a say. I hope she does have a say. But you know, here in Women's Wrestling Talk we have a say in? We have a say in the Women's Wrestling Archive, because we keep everything for women's history. And also $1, $2, $3, everybody can donate. So support the Women's Wrestling Archive.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches January 1st, 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might say he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate $1, $5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Just support everything with the Women's Wrestling Archive. And Dylan, I know we have this conversation, but sooner or later she's gonna have to put her big girl pants on, because if Kenny can't do it, even though he's EVP, then, well, I don't know what else to say. So I don't know. I just don't know at this point. But since we were talking about AEW, we already know Grand Slam Australia will be on Valentine's Day weekend. It'll be on Saturday, February 14th in Sydney, Australia.
Aussie. Oi,
yes.
oi.
Yes, we've been talking about this, and it will be airing 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT and HBO Max. And it's going to be taped, obviously, earlier in the day. So no spoilers, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It's expected to run 2.5 hours, 30 minutes longer, obviously, than the typical Collision time. But no matches as we know, no matches have been announced yet, but they will be soon. And we also know AEW will be hosting their first ever live house show the next day in Sydney, Australia. So, Kane, I just want to get your thoughts on this, because I know we talked about this for a bit, but they're back in Aussie for Valentine's Day weekend. Lots can happen, and they do have a lot of Aussie stars that they can send.
I mean that, but first and foremost, I need to see the AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, do a kangaroo kick against a kangaroo in Australia. You know, you be talking about that kangaroo kick mess like he's good at it. I just want to see what happens with that, or any other type of marsupial. Australia is very represented in AEW. Matter of fact, I think AEW stands for Australia's Elite Wrestling, actually. You see two of them right there with Kyle Fletcher and with Tony Storm. Who else we got?
Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron, thank you. That's what I was thinking of. And Harley Cameron's puppet. I think by like birthright citizenship, she's also Australian. So it's good to see AEW, you know, travel around the world and really, you know, embrace their fan base where they are at. I'm excited to see what happens. I hope this is treated like a major deal. The Grand Slams here in America were huge, but the Grand Slams in Australia have just kind of been like, in my opinion, glorified house shows, if you will. So I need something really, really major and impactful to happen here. If you're going to do it, if you're going to go all the way out in Australia, make it mean something. And also, please, Tony Khan, AEW, make sure you got everything with the ring correct. We don't want no ring talk about the ring being too small and not able. Make sure the ring is already there and built like yesterday. Because last time they were in Australia, remember there was the problems with the ring and all of this.
Yes.
No, we need to make sure we have the proper size ring, and we'll be Gucci bandana.
Yeah, I think that's something because last year it was the first time they've ever set foot in Australia. So they have a lot of work to do on trying to make sure of it. And Dylan doesn't think Tony Storm is Australian, which is fine because she's from New Zealand and he's been the president of the Kyle Fletcher fan club because he's a true Australian.
Right. You're true Aussie. You're absolutely right. But I'm going to claim my ignorant American and say, hey, man, same difference, dog. Like
we've had this argument we've had this argument for over since I've been on WWT, but it's like she is Australian, okay? Yeah, she's from New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yes, I got to remember that. Tony Storm and I almost called her Cobra Kai, Dakota Kai, New Zealand. Rhea Ripley, Kyle Fletcher, Buddy Matthews, Australian, but Rhea Ripley with Buddy Matthews, just two different companies, but Australian.
Can't forget about
Spider Math.
Can't forget about Miss Harley Cameron. But anyways, I just hope they do have some matches. I know we do have some already announced. Obviously, Ricochet is going to be defending the national championship in his hometown of Las Vegas against Jack Perry the first week of February because they're going to be in Vegas that week. But it's going to be very interesting on how this is going to play out because it looks like we do have some storylines that we could interact with. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, Boza, and go back to your question. MJF's got to show up. He's the champ. He can run, but he can't hide because he's got 6-7 other people that's gunning for him for his belt. So he can run all he wants, but he's going to go on the Bobby anyway. But on the Bobby.
Oh, but, Mark Davis. Mark Davis is from Australia too because Aussie Open with Kyle Fletcher. Dude, how forget about Mark Davis with David Doyle now, who's going to be adopted at Australian. Hey, Dylan, chat real quick. Are there any so we have Australian? What we have the Outback Steakhouse here. Is there Outback Steakhouse in Australia? Like, does that Chad answer that? Chad, is there like a bloomin' onion in Outback Steakhouse? And in Australia, which is the Outback, do y'all call Outback Steakhouse? Like, is it just steakhouse? Just, you know. Because technically, what is like Australian cuisine, right? Because Australian cuisine is like Vegemite, but Vegemite is not on the Outback Steakhouse menu. Like a Vegemite sandwich, as they say in that song. You just give me a Vegemite sandwich. There should be a Vegemite on a pole match.
Dylan's the expert. He lived in Australia.
Like there should be like a pool of Vegemite that Danhausen has to wrestle in or something.
Oh my God.
Just trying to book the show.
Well, Dylan said.
Oh, Dylan.
Well,
there
Dylan
are a few.
Said there are. Yes. We have a few.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe Dylan can attend the show in Sydney. It's in Sydney.
Yeah.
I would think. I would think he's not far from Sydney. In fact, it's a Valentine's Day weekend, so
So Outback Steakhouse gonna be packed in love and wrestling. You know what? I'm about to start looking for flights. I might just go to Sydney. Can kangaroos fly? Because that's how you travel to Sydney, or is that just a generalization? Anyway, back to the show. If you're still watching, this is Women's Wrestling Talk. as we get to our next story, Court.
Pretty much. But just wrapping up this, just to let you know, Grand Slam Australia will be on Valentine's Day weekend. So if you live in Australia and it's also Valentine's Day weekend, and if you need a date, why not just take him to a wrestling show that weekend? I mean, come on.
Great first date, wrestling.
That is a great first date. But anyways, we'll be talking about Grand Slam in the next couple of weeks. But we do have our final story we have for the night. We want to give a shout out to Bailey because we talked about this for the last couple months. Bailey did a weekend seminar where she had majority of the women in independent wrestling. 22 women from all over the world joined together in Orlando, Florida for the first ever women's seminar. They spent 4 days together living under one roof and there for the same reason, to be better than they were yesterday. We have talked about this for the last couple months because we've seen appearances from John Cena, Charlotte Flair, Lyra Valkyria, Bianca Belair, along with many others that made an appearance. And the video is finally out. Documentary is officially out, and we have praised Bailey in so much. But Kane, just wanted to get your quick thoughts in, and we shall see.
Bailey. Oh, Bailey is in her 18th year of professional wrestling. And it's just amazing to see her go from a rookie to now a vet who is leaving women's wrestling, professional wrestling, better than what she found it. And Bailey is investing into the new generation. And one of the biggest things I took away was one of her first quotes when she said, "When you teach, you learn, and when you teach, you grow." And I think that can be applied to any of us in a professional setting who came up through an intern. And, you know, they say today's interns, tomorrow's bosses. And we're seeing that come to fruition with Bailey. So her fingerprints are going to be all over professional wrestling with these future stars who attended Lodestone. Just from some names I recognized, like Rachel Armstrong and Ella Envy and Nikki Blackheart and Drea Michelle, to Nor Phoenix Diana was there, who we saw against Bailey's BFF, Mercedes Moné. Former MLW Women's Champion Janai Kai was there. And some new names that I've been checking out, like Chantel Jordan. And did I mention Drea Mitchell? If not, I'm going to mention her again. Drea Mitchell, I mean, just from the airport test, okay, is like, once she gets some more reps, I'm excited for her. So what she's doing is introducing lovers of wrestling to the future. So, you know, really excited to see where she can take it. I think Lodestone eventually is going to become an indie within itself. You know, I think that we can foresee this and Bailey running that. Maybe having it a part as the WWE ID program, like, you know, Booker T's Reality of Wrestling is, or you see what's happening with Tony Khan and Athena's promotion coming together. So overall, this is just lovely to see. And I'm just so happy that Bailey is doing this and it allows us access to it. So Bailey, I know you be out here giving hugs, but bring it in. You deserve a hug, Bailey.
She does. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Dylan's comment because we were wrapping up Australia and then I'm laughing at his comment.
My kangaroo is charging at the moment. Thank you.
No, Dylan. Comment below after that.
Oh, if you took your first date to an AEW show, then it would count for the first 5.
Yeah,
it will be there for a hot little minute. You know what I mean?
Well, that's always. But anyways, going back to Bailey, she's definitely really put in a lot of work, and this was an event that she really took very seriously because she said, all you girls got to do is show up, I will pay for everything. And also being in the same roof under the same place at the same time. So it made me really happy to see, and seeing a lot of familiar faces in, like you just mentioned, Kane, a few others, but also Gabby Forza is a well-known person that I got to familiar myself with in the East Coast because she's been doing well. She's doing her thing from Creative Pro Wrestling, but also Izzy has been making a name for herself in the indies as well. So it's really nice to see so many so many women just really fighting for the same goal, and especially some of people from the roster taking time out of their day. I mean, having John Cena come out right before he was officially retired, that's like really cool to watch. Even some of the people on the current roster, as I mentioned, Charlotte, Lyra, Bianca Belair, even though she's injured, taking time out of her day. It's really cool to watch some of these people really investing in all this and really producing the future. So I give kudos to Bailey. And here at Women's Wrestling Talk, we salute you for the work that you put in and continuing the evolution of women's wrestling.
Now give Bailey all the belts, WWE. I want her walking around with every title.
She should.
Bailey, multiple belts. Like every brand. I want her just heavy. Just she can't even walk because she got so much gold on her. I mean, like the Evolve Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT North America Women's Championship, the WWE Tag Titles. Hell, reactivate the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. I want it with the WWE United States Women's Championship. I want Bailey to have the WWE United States Women's Intercontinental World Mega Triple I Championship. Campeon, all of them for what she's doing.
Well, she will get some gold soon this year. And MDB, Bianca, she does have a broken finger. God knows we don't know how long, because I guess it depends on the finger part injury.
Hey, listen, when you see Bianca Belair in the Lodestone documentary, her hair is out. Hair is laid, shouty. Want to know why? Because she can't braid it because her finger's still messed up. Okay? But I think, listen, I dislocated my pinky like 3 months ago, and it's still throwing up gang signs. You know what I mean? Like it's back in place and everything like that, but it's still like so. Like it's one of those injuries that you think it's nothing. It'll heal, but it takes a very long time to like heal, and the swelling has to go down, and you have to buddy tape your fingers when doing anything. So yeah, like it's something. But you know, will we see Bianca and Saudi? Who knows? I hope so.
I think
so. Because I want to judge that crowd, that Saudi crowd, on how they react to seeing Bianca.
I think she will be this weekend. I think she will be there. I think Kevin Owens this Saturday.
It is, man. Yeah, January's over.
2 p.m. Eastern time. So you better get ready. But we will be, because that pretty much wraps up the stories I have for Women's Wrestling Talk. But is there anything that I missed, Kane? Is there anything that I missed?
Real quick, you want to talk about The Rock not being nominated for any Oscar awards?
Oh my God.
Like what?
That's been a buzz. That has been a buzz.
Just real quick, like apparently the Oscars could not smell what Rocky was cooking, or they didn't like the smell of it. I don't know what it was, what was happening, but man, first The Rock gets snubbed for the Tooth Fairy and Jumanji, and now The Rock gets snubbed for the Smashing Machine. How about that? That's crazy. He did all that work. He could have been involved in the John Cena retirement tour, but probably was like, well, I don't know. The block might be too hot. I don't want to mess up anything for my Oscars. And they gave him not a damn thing. It's crazy.
And it's crazy.
And
his performance was good, but it's just...
Yeah, he was good.
I don't know why. Well, we know why, because the Oscars have been that way for years. So
yeah,
they
well, at least
so many people out of awards. So it's like,
yeah, The Rock had to be sacrificed for sinners to get upteenth nominations. So I'm mad at it.
Even with the Grammys, like the Grammys, it's just that we see so many snubs every year with the Grammys, and the Grammys are this weekend.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation that's a whole conversation when it comes to the Grammys. But we got to get out of here because Monday Night Raw is happening at the top of the hour. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about the Rumble all this week, giving our bold predictions on Friday, possibly doing a watch along for the Royal Rumble this weekend. We just have to talk to the rest of the team. But that wraps up our Monday edition for WWT. And Kane, where can the people find you?
Yeah, at Kane McCoy on Threads, IG, MySpace, Black Planet, Mi Gente, all of that. Still trying to get back in my Twitter. But if you know anybody who works at Twitter and they could let me back in, I would appreciate it. Thank you guys for always watching, for supporting us. It goes without saying, but we're going to say how much we really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day. You could be watching any wrestling podcast in the world, but you're tuned in with Women's Wrestling Talk, and it's something that we do not forget about. We're always looking for ways to make things better, and we have a lot of things that we are working on, so we appreciate you staying in touch with us, and just keep rolling with us, and keep running the ropes with us, and we're going to be making some slams soon, so can't wait.
I'm laughing at MDB's comment.
Yes, it was a tough off season for us, but me nor Kyler Murray will be quarterbacking the Arizona Cardinals next season. But, you know, I'll be busy with this, so it's okay.
Well, I'm in the same boat because I don't know what's going to happen with the Dolphins off season. We got a coach, we got a GM. I just wish we could get it right this time. So who knows? Who knows?
I play for the Dolphins. I'm a serviceable backup.
Who knows what the Finns are going to do? So we just sit back and watching that. But obviously, of course, you can always find me chirping sporadically on WWT Live as much as I can. Wednesdays, you know, Timeless Elite Wednesdays with me for AEW Dynamite every Wednesday for my watch along. We're going to be in Austin, Texas on Wednesday. We do have some banger of a matches, so feel free to spend 2 hours with me, because even though we have a long road trip to Revolution, we do have a road trip to Grand Slam Australia. So keep intact with everything else going. Make sure to follow me on my socials at CourtneyNJ11, because your PR princess, she's got a lot of work that she's been doing. So I'm kind of brewing stuff under the rug for a little bit, especially from over the weekend that's been happening, because we want to make sure the people of Minnesota are safe after what's been happening over the weekend, and want to make sure that we're here to support you and making sure that everybody is safe. And these are challenging times, but we also want to make sure that we give you guys support here. But feel free to follow me on my socials. ISPW follow. Friday, February 13th, we are having a glitter battle royal with all the ladies happening. It's right before Valentine's Day. I will be on the call. I'm very excited, because if you live in New Jersey, you love independent wrestling, you love women's wrestling, feel free to come on out, because it'll be super fun. I'm very excited for this. Also, shout out to the rest of the team in WWT. I know Boss Lady, she's on vacation this week. She'll be back next week, but hopefully you get a watch along for the Royal Rumble this weekend. We will be talking Rumble all this week. So thank you to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jeffrey, Boza, MDB, our producer from the future, Dylan, who always shows up with the clips. Sindel for popping in, Jordan from Canada for popping in, Aaron Teagle, all of you for popping in on the chat, for supporting us and Women's Wrestling 24/7. And thank you for supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great evening. Enjoy Monday Night Raw, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.